Today we will be discussing the Israeli Operation Art from 1948 to 2008. In this chapter, we will discuss how the Israelis have developed their operational strategy over a period of time.
So here the chapter is called The Rise and the Fall of the Israeli Operation Art, written by Avi Kober. It is part of it is chapter 6 of the book, which is prescribed for you, the evolution of operational art from Napoleon to the present era. So we will be discussing both the rise of Israeli op art and the fall of Israeli op art. The Israeli operation art has emerged as one of the most effective and adaptive military doctrines in the modern warfare. The Israelis' geopolitical reality has played a crucial role in shaping its military doctrine. Surrounded by hostile neighbors and facing constant security threats, Israel's defense strategy was built on principles of deterrence, preemption, and quick, decisive victories. Unlike larger nations with the vast strategic depth, Israel could not afford prolonged wars and defensive attrition based strategies. Instead, it had to rely on agility, superior training, and technological edge to compensate for the small size and limited resources. So, this part of the chapter is divided into 10 parts. We'll go over these one by one. Israeli operation art is product of both necessity and ingenuity. Several key influences shaped its development. The early Zionist military thought. Jewish military organizations like Haganah and Palmach and Irgun laid the groundwork for Israeli defense forces. They emphasized guerrilla tactics, intelligence, and strategic mobility. Israeli military planners studied and adapted strategies from World War II, particularly the German blitzkrieg tactics and the Soviet concept of operational depth. Unlike the traditional armies that separated strategy, operation, and tactics, the idea blurred these distinctions. Commanders had flexibility and autonomy and fostering decentralized decision making. 1948 Arab-Israeli War marked the birth of the Israeli Operation Art. The newly formed IDF, that the Israeli Defense Forces, consisting of former guerrilla fighters and the volunteers, faced superior Arab forces in terms of numbers and equipment. The war forced Israel to adopt flexible maneuver warfare. The IDF used mobility and surprise attacks to overcome larger enemy forces. Then they went in for the decentralized command. Small units leadership and initiative played a crucial role in the battlefield success. Air ground coordination. The, though limited in numbers, the Israeli Air Force provided critical support to ground operations. This conflict demonstrated that the operational success could be achieved through superior planning, adaptability, and initiative rather than sheer force. Then we had the Suez Crisis in 1956. The Suez Crisis saw Israeli operational capabilities expand significantly. Partnering with the Britain and France against Egypt and Israel demonstrated deep penetration strategies. That is, the IDF launched a swift armored thrust into Sinai Peninsula, showcasing its ability to execute complex operations with speed and efficiency. Air superiority. The Israeli Air Force quickly neutralized Egyptian air assets, giving Israel a crucial operational edge. Multi domain integration. Coordination between the air, land, and intelligence elements was seamless in this. The success of this campaign enforced Israel's belief in preemptive strikes and rapid, decisive campaigns. The Six Day War, 1967, perhaps the most famous example of Israeli operational art. The Six Day War demonstrated the IDF's mastery of maneuver warfare and strategic foresight. The key elements of this campaign included: on the morning of June 5th, Israel launched a surprise attack on Egyptian airfields, crippling the enemy's ability to wage war. So, preemptive airstrikes went in first. Then Israel engaged the Egypt, Jordan, Syria in rapid succession using superior intelligence and deception. So simultaneity of operation was carried out. Then the Israeli defensive forces combined armor, infantry, and air power with precision, securing victory under a week. So this demonstrated the integrated approach towards the warfare. This war cemented Israeli operational art as one of the most efficient modern military doctrines, proving the effectiveness of proactive strategies. Then we had the Yom Kippur War in 1973. Yom Kippur War exposed critical weaknesses in Israeli military thinking. Surprised by coordinated attacks from from Egypt and Syria, Israel initially suffered significant losses. However, the war also showcased IDF's resilience and ability to adapt. Despite early setback, Israeli forces regrouped and launched counteroffensives on both the Egyptian and Syrian fronts. So, this demonstrated the operational recovery. Mid level officers made rapid decisions in battlefield, adjusting tactics in the real time. So, that demonstrated the adaptive command structure. Israel's use of air power, electronic warfare, and armored counterattacks played a decisive role in turning the tide. Technological innovations was also seen. Overall, the conflict prompted a re-evaluation of Israeli operational doctrine, reinforcing the importance of intelligence and readiness, and also the strategic reserves. Post 1973 evolution and the high-tech warfare. Following the Yom Kippur War, Israel invested heavily in the intelligence, technology, and asymmetric warfare capabilities. Key developments included the IAF became a dominant force capable of precision strikes and strategic deterrence. So, by enhancing the air power doctrine, units like the Sheret Matkal became central to counterterrorism and unconventional warfare. So they went in for the special operation forces. Then Israel integrated real-time intelligence with digital command and control systems, significantly improving the battlefield awareness by the way of network-centric warfare. Then came the Lebanon Wars and the counterinsurgency operations. Israel's involvement in Lebanon in 1982 and 2006 introduced new challenges facing non-traditional enemies like Hezbollah. The IDF had to adapt its operational doctrine. So, unlike conventional battles, these conflicts required different tactics, including drone warfare, intelligence led strikes, and psychological operations. So, they had to move from the conventional operations to the urban and asymmetric warfare. Israel's emphasis on surgical strikes and precision guided munitions minimized collateral damages while maintaining effectiveness. So, precision warfare was important still. Then, as warfare evolved, Israel became a leader in cyber operations using the electronic countermeasures to disrupt enemies' communication and infrastructure. So, cyber and electronic warfare also played its part in the Lebanon Wars and counterinsurgency operations. Role of intelligence in the operation art. A key component of Israeli operational success has been its world-class intelligence capabilities. Agencies like Mossad, Shin Bet, and Amman provide preemptive strategic foresight, so one can anticipate the enemy movements before they occur. Then the real-time battlefield intelligence, which enables the rapid tactical adjustment. Psychological and deception operations, by which misinform and mislead the adversaries. So the fusion of intelligence with operations made IDF exceptionally agile and effective. The future of Israeli operation art. Looking ahead, Israeli operation art continues to evolve its response to new threats, including cyber warfare, drone technology, hybrid warfare, etc. The key future trends include artificial intelligence and automation, which enhances the battlefield in decision making and operational efficiency. Then they have the space and cyber dominance, which develops by which developing capabilities to neutralize threats beyond the conventional battlefields, and the unmanned systems, increasing reliance on drones and the autonomous weapons for reconnaissance and strike missions. So, in the first part, we have seen the Israeli operate is a dynamic and ever evolving doctrine shaped by the necessity, innovation, and experience. From 1948 War of Independence to modern conflicts, Israel has demonstrated an unparalleled ability to adapt and define its military strategies. The IDF's approach, characterized by the preemptive agility and the technological superiority, serves as a model for contemporary military planning. As war continues to evolve, Israeli operational art will likely remain the forefront of the military innovation, blending conventional and the unconventional tactics to address emerging global security challenges. Now we come to the part two of the chapter, that fall of the Israeli operation art. Israeli operation art was regarded as one of the most innovative and effective in modern military history, has faced significant challenges and decline over past few decades. This part examines the factors that led to the erosion of Israel's operational prowess, from changing military doctrines and geopolitical realities to internal political and strategic miscalculations. The decline is not simply a result of the technological advancements or evolving threats, but also a fundamental shift in how Israel perceives and executes military operations. For decades, the Israeli Defense Forces built a reputation for strategic brilliance, rapid maneuver warfare, and decisive victories. However, by late 20th century and early 21st century, cracks began to appear in the operational thinking. Several key conflicts, including the 1982 Lebanon War, the Second Intifada, and 2006 Lebanon War, exposed serious weaknesses in the military strategy and execution. These conflicts demonstrated how IDF struggled to adapt to asymmetric warfare, the urban combat, and non state actors like the Hezbollah and Hamas. The fall of Israeli operational art is not a single event, but a gradual process marked by a loss of innovation, over reliance on technology, and poor strategic planning and political military disconnect. So, first is the over reliance on technology and precision warfare. Sorry, these slides have got a little mixed up. One of the most significant reason for the decline of Israeli operational art has been the excessive dependence on technology and precision warfare. While technological advancements provide Israel with the unparalleled intelligence and firepower, they also create complacency in the military thinking. First, we take is shift to the standoff warfare. The IDF became increasingly reliant on the air power drones and the precision guided munitions, reducing the emphasis on the traditional maneuver warfare. The belief that high tech weaponry could achieve decisive victory without significant ground operations proved flawed, especially in conflicts against guerrillas and the insurgent forces. The 2006 Lebanon War highlighted these shortcomings when Israeli airstrikes failed to decisively weaken Hezbollah, which adapted to Israeli technology and tactics. Weakening of the ground maneuver capabilities. While past Israeli victories relied on swift, deep penetration into the enemy territory, modern conflict saw the IDF hesitant to engage in the prolonged ground operations. Urban warfare and counterinsurgency require different strategies than the traditional mechanized warfare which the IDF struggled to develop. The reduced emphasis on the maneuver warfare led to the operational stagnation, where IDF lacked the flexibility and the ability to adjust mid battle. Then the Lebanon Wars, which were exposing the operational failures. In 1982 Lebanon War, while Israel initially executed successful maneuvers in the invasion of Lebanon, mission creep and the prolonged occupation weakened its operational effectiveness. The shift from the conventional warfare to counterinsurgency against Hezbollah drained resources and morale. Israel's long term presence in Lebanon from 1982 to 2000 showed its inability to achieve decisive results, leading to strategic exhaustion. The 2006 Lebanon War, one of the clearest examples of the fall of Israeli operation art. Despite having air superiority and advanced weaponry, Israel failed to achieve its strategic goals against Hezbollah. The IDF's leadership relied too much on airstrikes and precision munitions, neglecting the importance of the integrated ground operations. Hezbollah's asymmetric tactics, use of tunnels and decentralized command, expose flaws in the Israel's doctrine. Poor coordination between military and the political leadership resulted in the unclear objectives and lack of decisive actions. Second Intifada and the shift to counterinsurgency. The Second Intifada from 2000 to 2005 fundamentally changed Israel's security landscape, forcing IDF to confront insurgents and the terrorists rather than conventional army. This conflict demonstrated the inadequacy of traditional operational art in dealing with the urban warfare and non state actors. The importance of intelligence and special operation over the conventional maneuver warfare was felt. A growing dependence on targeted assassinations and airstrikes, further distancing the IDF from the classical operational strategies. While the IDF adapted to developing and advanced counterinsurgency tactics, it also contributed to the erosion of the large scale operational planning and maneuver based warfare. So, next is the political and the strategic miscalculation, lack of clear war aims. In the past, in the past wars, that is the 1961, 67, and 1973, Israel had clear strategic objectives. The recent conflicts, however, have been marked with vague and shifting war aims. Wars in Lebanon and Gaza have often ended without a decisive outcome, leading to a repeat of the cycles of conflict. Disconnect between the political and military leadership. Political leaders have often interfered in the military decisions, undermining the operational efficiency. Civil military liaisons have suffered as politicians micromanage wars, leading to operational hesitancy and strategic paralysis. In 2000, the 2006 Lebanon War exposed deep rifts between the military commanders and the government, leading to ineffective execution. Next is the role of Hezbollah and Hamas in shaping the decline. First is the Hezbollah's evolution as a military force. Unlike the traditional Arab armies, Hezbollah operated as a hybrid force, combining conventional and the guerrilla tactics. Underground tunnels, advanced missiles, and decentralized command neutralized Israeli technological advantages. The 2006 war showed how a non state actor could challenge the IDF's superiority. Then was Hamas and the asymmetric warfare. Hamas in Gaza has also forced Israel to rethink its strategy. Urban warfare, tunnels, and asymmetric attacks have limited the effectiveness of Israel's traditional military doctrines. Israel's response in terms of blockades, airstrikes, and the limited incursions has failed to fully eliminate the threat, creating an ongoing security dilemma. Rigid military structures. Earlier, the Israeli operational art thrived on decentralization and battlefield initiative. In the recent decades, top heavy bureaucracy and rigid hierarchies have slowed decision making. Commanders have become more risk averse, fearing political backlash or media scrutiny. Erosion of elite ground forces. Past wars relied on highly trained elite units and armored divisions. Recent conflicts have seen budget cuts and the reduced emphasis on the ground combat training. Over-reliance on airstrikes and drones have led to the weakening of the combat infantry effectiveness. So, what is the future of the Israeli operation art? Despite the decline, Israeli operation art is not beyond recovery. Some potential reforms include rebalancing technology and maneuver warfare. While high technological solutions are valuable, they must complement, not replace, the traditional operational strategies. Reinvesting in the ground forces, strengthening urban warfare training, special operations, and maneuver for tactics is critical. Developing hybrid warfare capabilities, is learning from the Hezbollah and Hamas to fight in both conventional and asymmetric environment. Then improving political military cohesion, clear a war aims and better coordination between the political leaders and military commanders is a must, and they should work towards it. To conclude, we must say that the decline of the Israeli operation art has been a gradual process influenced by over-reliance on technology, failure in the maneuver warfare, political military misalignment, and evolving threats from the asymmetric enemies. The 2006 Lebanon War and conflicts with Hamas revealed the limits of standoff warfare and the precision strikes, emphasizing the need for a more flexible and integrated approach. For Israel to regain its operational superiority, it must learn from the past mistakes, modernize its ground capabilities, and develop strategies that balance technology with the classical operational maneuvering. Otherwise, it risks further stagnation and strategic vulnerability in the future. With that, we come to the end of this chapter. Thank you.